Warming up to lift isn't the most exciting part of training, but it is crucial to high-level performance. Warm-ups don't just reduce injury risk, they actually boost your performance. And a warm-up should consist of two main parts, a general warm-up and specific warm-up. The general warm-up should last between 5 and 10 minutes. Its main goal is to increase your body temperature and help your muscles function better. We'll dive deeper into how this actually works at the end of the video, but let's focus on the practical advice first. The most common way to do this is to perform basic cardio for 10 minutes. However, there is a better way. I like to do a circuit of 4 to 5 exercises, 2 to 3 rounds of 10 to 15 reps each. These should be done with very light weight, something you could do like 50 or more reps with, and performed continuously. Pick exercises based on what you're training that day. For upper body, I typically use lat pull-downs, push-ups, cable rows, overhead press, and lateral raises. For lower body, something like goblet squats, kettlebell swings, split squats, and back extensions. Feel free to swap out any exercises regularly. Just make sure they warm up the muscles you're targeting that day. This approach better prepares you for the exercises you were doing that day, and even allows for extra technique work, especially when I work with younger athletes. The warm-up allows us for extra practice in their main movements. They can easily do 30 to 40 goblet squats or swings in a non-fatiguing manner. This gives them extra practice while preparing the body for the session. Once the general warm-up is done, you move to the specific warm-up, which is warming you up for the exact exercise you're about to do. For example, if I'm starting with bench press, I'll begin with a light weight and work my way up to the working sets. On the screen are 2 examples. My preferred way is with more sets and less reps per set. I take minimal rest between sets and basically just enough to change the weight. The last 2 heavier warm-ups might come with an extra 30 to 60 seconds rest. Alternatively, you could do more reps per set and fewer sets. Try both and see what works best for you. There is no magic secret warm-up. We're simply preparing the body to lift hard and dial in our technique before those heavier sets. If you feel tired or worn out after warming up, then you might need to scale it back or take more rest between your warm-up sets. It shouldn't be exhausting. It should help you feel ready. Use these as starting points and adjust as needed. Do the specific warm-up for every exercise, even if your body is generally prepared. Going from bench press to incline bench still requires a few easy sets of incline to get your nervous system in tune with the new technique and pressing angle. You don't need to do a lot, just enough for your body to remember what it feels like to do incline instead of flat benching. Before you ask, static stretching is not a good warm-up. Warming up is about movement and gradually exposing yourself to higher intensity as your body is prepared. Static stretching, like touching your toes before training, has been shown to decrease force production, lowering your results. The exception might be around a specific injury that some static stretching helps you get the proper movements in that you actually need to perform. For healthy athletes though, it isn't a great warm-up. Use static stretching at the end of workouts or on off days to improve flexibility. The last practical tip is to adjust the warm-up as you need to. More warm-up needs done if you're dealing with an injury or just feeling stiffer that day, or maybe you're training in a cold environment. If you just came from a sport practice or even doing something like yard work, you can probably skip the general portion and jump right into your specific warm-up. Now, to really hammer in the importance of warming up, let's discuss what actually happens in the body that makes warming up improve performance. The basic logical reason that we need to warm up is our bodies aren't ready for maximal effort all the time. It takes a lot of calories and resources to fire maximally for a sprint or heavy lift. So our bodies are typically in a less aroused state. We must gradually increase the intensity so our bodies realize that it's actually going to need those resources and starts preparing for the upcoming energy expenditure. But how does the temperature increase actually improve performance? Increased temperatures bring an increase in enzyme activity, increasing the speed of our body's chemical reactions and energy production. Our bodies have 3 main energy systems. All 3 are always active, but the dominant one depends on the intensity and duration of our movement. When we are just walking around and sitting, we primarily use the aerobic system. Then more intensity brings in the glycolytic system, and then maximal efforts uses the creatine phosphate system. Our creatine phosphate system can't ramp up instantly from a cold state. Gradual increases in intensity allow enzyme activity and substrate availability to rise to levels needed for maximal output. Warmer temperatures also allow for improved oxygen delivery to the muscles and an easier flow of key electrolytes like sodium and potassium across the cell membrane. Moving the joints and increasing your temperature allows for an increase in the circulation and viscosity of synovial fluid. Basically, this is a lubricant around your joints that allow them to move more freely and reduce friction. This leads to springier and more powerful movements. Less related to the physical temperature in our bodies, but an important aspect of warming up with lighter weights is the technical and neurological boost. To execute a heavy lift, our bodies need to fire large amounts of muscle mass in a very coordinated manner. Our technique improves through practice and decays when we don't. Imagine not bench pressing for 3 months. When you come back, your technique feels off, and you're often weaker. Even if you were doing other related movements like incline bench press, flies, etc., you might not be generally weaker, but that movement is. That is due to your nervous system getting less skilled at firing the specific muscles in the specific way that are needed for the bench press. This technical decay happens between sessions too, although to a lesser degree. Basically, your first few sets may feel a little off if it's been a week since you performed the movement. Starting lighter allows you to actually focus on the technical cues and get dialed in. You find your groove on your warm-up sets so that by the time you get to heavy weight, you don't have to think about the technique. Your body knows what to do and you can just push. Beyond the technique, the nervous system just needs to get ramped up, as stated earlier. Our bodies aren't ready to go all out at a moment's notice. We must gradually increase the intensity as our body prepares to push hard. This allows our nervous system to activate as much muscle as possible to execute that specific movement. Not every aspect of our training is glorious, but does fit into the overall picture of improvement. If you want to reach your peak, warming up is a crucial part of that picture. Share this video with any athletes who hate warming up. I'm looking at you, Makoya. And please subscribe to the Immortal Power channel.